So with our network programs, they do generally extend beyond one geographical location since they are interest or identity based and not geographically bound. And we're encouraging them to utilize virtual engagement opportunities to connect alumni from a variety of locations. So within our network programs, we do have two types. So we have our identity based, which share commonalities such as race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, ability, religion or spirituality, nationality, and socioeconomic status. So some examples of our identity-based networks would be our African American Alumni Network, an LGBTQ plus network, and a Hispanic Alumni Association. On the other side, we have our interest-based groups or special interest groups, such as marching band, nursing students, prior military, or our student veterans. And networks can be formed in conjunction with academic programs and colleges on campus. If that's the case, the Office of Alumni Affairs will connect interested parties with the appropriate campus contact to be able to foster that relationship and make sure that the network or program gets off the ground running smoothly. Network programs are required to maintain an active and formalized leadership board to best guarantee the longevity and success of the program. Networks are required to have at least one delegate attend the annual Appalachian Leadership Conference. So now let's compare our leadership board structures side by side. On the left, we've got our summit chapters. In the middle, we've got our peak chapters. And on the right, we've got our network programs. So in terms of leadership board structure, summit programs are required to have a president and a vice president, also known as a president-elect, and the presidential terms are limited to 2 years of service. For our peak programs, they must have a president to serve as the official liaison and point person. However, there is no term limit or year of service limit. Our network programs, very similar to the summit chapters, must have a president and a vice president, also known as a president-elect. Presidential terms are limited to 2 years of service. For our summit programs, in terms of a formal board structure, it's recommended that you do not exceed a board of 10 members. If you are sitting there kind of thinking, oh my gosh, we have a larger board, that's okay. We are more than happy to cycle through. We just want to make sure that we are using everyone to their full potential instead of just having 15 board members, if we're utilizing 8 or 9 of them to make sure that they get the best experience possible. Our peak programs, we're not asking that they have any type of formal board structure, but we will work with them based on the number of volunteers and interested leadership members that they have. Network programs, again, very similar to the summit chapters, recommended not to exceed a board of 10 members. Summit programs, again, at least one board member must attend the annual volunteer conference. Peak programs, it's encouraged, and presidents, vice presidents, board members are always invited to attend, but it is not a requirement. And then for our network programs, they must send at least one board member to serve as a delegate on behalf of their organization. So now let's talk about engagement structure or programming requirements for each group. We've got our summit chapters, again on the left, peak chapters in the middle, and our network programs are on the right. Our summit programs, again, must hold at least 8 events per year, and we need 2 of those events to be per quarter. For our peak programs, they must host at least 4 events annually and have 1 event per quarter. Our network programs must host at least 6 events annually and have 1 per quarter. So summit programs, 8 total events, peak programs, 4 total events, network programs, 6 total events. So going back to our summit chapters, of the 8 events, they have to have at least 4 non-game viewing party or non-athletics related events. Peak programs, of your 4 events, 2 of them are non-game day viewing parties. Network programs, you are required to host at least 1 comprehensive event during homecoming. Summit programs, you're required to participate in both an IBAC app event and at least 1 day of community service. Our peak programs, you're also required to participate in IBAC app, and a day of community service is always encouraged but not required. And last, our network programs, you are also required to participate in IBAC app, and similarly to the peak programs, while a day of community service is not encouraged, it is encouraged, it is not required. And also network programs, you may be asked to collaborate with the appropriate campus representative or other groups on campus to identify some service opportunities within your interest or identity-based group. We will have more conversations individually with our network programs to identify those opportunities for you separate. All right, y'all, this information is outlined in the leadership handbook that you all have a PDF link to. You're also going to receive a hard copy as soon as we get them back from the printers. But take a look at the chart. It has a lot of great information in terms of budget and annual reports and submitting all of those things. So please, please, please read over it. And I promise we'll discuss it more in person when we're able. But I just want to make sure that you have a good understanding of what the requirements are for each, so that you can appropriately identify your chapter or network program.